Welcome to our explainer. When we think about our homes, we usually think about the solid stuff, right? Walls, windows, the roof. But what about how a house breathes? That's what we're diving into today. The lungs of your home and how we can make sure they're breathing in nothing but fresh, healthy air.
So let's start with a question that honestly feels a little counterintuitive. You've done all the right things, right? You've sealed up every draft, you've got amazing insulation, your home is a fortress of energy efficiency. But what if, and this is the catch, what if all that good work is accidentally trapping stale, unhealthy air inside with you?
And that right there, that's the invisible problem lurking in so many modern houses. See, to save energy, we make our homes incredibly airtight, which is great for heating bills, no doubt. But it also means the house can't really breathe on its own anymore. So all that stuff from daily life, moisture from cooking and showers, pollutants, allergens, it has nowhere to go. It just gets trapped, building up and creating this stuffy and frankly unhealthy environment. But of course, there's a really elegant solution to this. It's a piece of tech that basically acts as a smart, super efficient set of lungs for your house. It's called heat recovery ventilation, or you'll often hear it called HRV. And it was designed to solve this exact problem of the modern sealed-up home. Okay, so what is heat recovery ventilation? Well, at its heart, it's a system with a really clever two-part mission. First, it pulls stale air out of your home and brings fresh air in. But, and this is the truly brilliant part, it does this while holding on to the heat you've already paid for. It actually transfers the warmth from the outgoing air to the fresh incoming air.
Sounds pretty smart, doesn't it?
But how does it actually pull that off? Well, the process is surprisingly simple, but it's incredibly effective. Let's walk through it. So picture this. The system is pulling that warm, kind of stuffy air out of your house. At the very same time, it's pulling in fresh but much colder air from outside. Now here's the magic. Inside the HRV unit, those two streams of air pass right by each other in what's called a heat exchanger. They never actually mix, but the heat from your old outgoing air gets transferred to the new incoming air. The result? You get a constant supply of fresh, filtered air, but it arrives in your rooms already pre-warmed. That one simple step saves a ton of energy. So when you boil it all down, you're getting fresh air without just throwing your heat out the window. And that whole process leads to what we can think of as the 4 big wins. These are the key benefits that are going to have a real impact on your health, your comfort, and, yeah, even your wallet. So let's talk about what these wins actually feel like. First up, the obvious one. Energy efficiency. You are literally recycling your home's warmth, which means a smaller heating bill, simple as that. But then there's your health. Think about it. A constant stream of filtered air means fewer allergens, less dust. For someone with asthma or allergies, that can be an absolute game changer. Then there's just pure comfort. You know, that stuffy, stagnant feeling? Gone. And without creating chilly drafts. And finally, it tackles moisture head-on, which helps stop dampness and prevent mold. And mold isn't just ugly, it is a serious health hazard. Now, this all sounds pretty amazing, but you might be wondering, is this for my house? That's a great question. Let's figure out which kinds of homes and what kinds of climates really get the most out of an HRV system. So, where do these systems really shine? Well, they're most valuable in places with big seasonal swings, really cold winters and warm summers. Take a place like Melbourne, for instance. The bigger the difference in temperature between your cozy living room and the frosty air outside, the more heat there is for the system to recover. It just means the system works harder for you, and you save more money. At the end of the day, an HRV is just a perfect partner for any modern airtight home. So if you're building a new house from scratch or doing a big renovation where you're really focusing on sealing everything up tight, this technology is basically made for you. And we see this in places with those variable climates, just like the source material points out for the greater Melbourne area, everywhere from Geelong to Portia to Halesville, where people are trying to find that perfect balance between being energy efficient and having healthy air. And that really brings us to a final thought here. We're constantly making our homes smarter and more efficient, but tech like HRV is a great reminder that we also have to focus on making them healthier. It's not just about sealing our homes off from the world, it's about giving them a way to breathe properly. So the question I'll leave you with is this. As our homes get smarter and smarter, how do we make sure they are truly healthy places to live? Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.